Hey guys, my name is Seniac, and right now we're looking at a very quiet airport, and that's because we have no planes landing here, and today we're hopefully going to change that and create our first plane route. Guys, welcome back to another episode right now of Transport Fever 2, the Netherlands edition, where your boy... Oh my goodness me, things are getting slightly out of hand with our big elevated transportation line. I've created a 3D network right now, boys, which means elevated lines running different directions, but their main purpose is to funnel people to the airport. The only problem is with the airport though, boys, we have nowhere for it to fly to. Well, I think I found the perfect location and the perfect place we're going to begin. We're going to build it over on this side. Now, the reason for it is the only way to get to these currently connected towns, because this is the problem. I needed to fly somewhere where it makes sense, and for it to make sense, we need transportation lines linking to cities, and I need them to link to cities that are not fully integrated with my mass transportation network currently where the airport is situated, which is here. Now, the only way to get over to here is by managing to get yourself all the way down to the port area and crossing on a boat. This is the only way to do it, but now will soon be known as the slow way to do it, because we're going to implement an airport. Now, I've tried to think about ways and places and where I can pull it, and I'm going to implement it over here, and I'll tell you why. We have 3 lines coming down, as you can see, from the port area, and they split in different directions. Now, if I eventually had them all funneled down to where maybe an airport could be, it would allow me to run the middle line coming down, and as this kind of connects down into Hoogeveen, it will do a stop here at an airport. Now, by doing that, it allows me to run this line up here through this town, and then come down to hook up to this line together as they both run for the airport and connect down. Now, this one, it looks like it will be going in that direction, but there's nothing stopping me bringing something in to kind of go this way. But also, there's a way in which I can kind of get these 3 cities to be linked together at the same time to switch between them to get more people moving and eventually leading down into the line over here. So that's where we're going to get it set up, but there's a lot of work we are going to need to get done. So before we get into it, if you are enjoying the series, smash the like button down below, subscribe if you are new. Do appreciate it, guys. I do appreciate it. Now, we do have a few little issues that are creeping up with this elevated train station. Because I've determined the trains to only stop at certain platforms, there is moments where they are having to wait for a train to clear it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go against what I've currently or previously done, and I'm going to manage the line, and every time it comes into the exchange here, I'm going to allow them to utilize every single platform. So basically, if there's a platform available, they can pretty much jump on it and use it. It just makes things a little bit easier for them. I don't know why I didn't do it in the first place. Oh, that one. Wait, does that one do it already? Or wait, I'm confused. Did I not just select that one? Manage line? Oh, no, I didn't. Ignore me, boys. Ignore me right now. So we need the exchange over here, which will allow them to funnel in all the trains and all the platforms. All good. There's the exchange there. Bam, 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 bam. So basically, if there's a platform available, doesn't matter what line they're on, if there's a platform available, they can use that platform rather than waiting for their predetermined platform to become available. So trains can get in and out of here pretty quick, because I have a feeling we might start seeing quite a few passengers wanting to transport themselves around. Now, is that all of them? I believe that was then all of them. I could be mistaken, but that's all. So now I can unload potentially up to 6 trains at once. Pretty handy, right? The only thing they have to wait for is obviously a train to clear the old Chrissy Crossies. Right, let's take a look at this, and let's forget all this for a moment, and let's take a look over here. Now, in the last episode, there was actually quite some funny comments. I do appreciate it. Man Royal says, Seniac, it is time to replace your 1800 ships and World War II trucks, which I thought was absolutely hilarious. And one dude was complaining that he's going to now finally stop watching the series, guys, because he thinks now that my elevated train line is unrealistic. Where's it gone? Where's it gone, boys? Where's it gone? All because some parts don't have pillars. That's what turned him off, not the fact that there's a whole elevated line from Rotterdam to Amsterdam. Listen, if I put pillars in, will you keep watching? Let me know in the comment section down below. Anyway, boys, we are going to set this up then. So what I'll do is I'll bring this line coming down here. We'll make it turn and then turn in here. And then we'll figure out where the straightest point is for us to implement the airport, build the station, and run additional lines in. So I think I might bring it down, turn it like that, and that should give us the most amount of space. Now, I'm going to have the station for this town over here actually run on this strip of road here, because it puts me a little bit further out the way of the city, but more pushes further down so I can create a better bend. And let me get the train station now. Now, it's been a while since I built a train station on the ground. Well, it feels like a while anyway. And I forgot what I meant to be doing. So I know it's 4. And am I doing a 240? Yes. We'll go 240 just for the sake of it. Right, I've already completely lost where I am. Where was I building it now? Wait, where was I building it? Was I building it here? Oh, wait, I was building... Oh, hold on. I've built the road on the wrong side. I meant to build it over here. I'm a fool. I'm a fool. Right, build that smack bang in the middle. There we go. And that becomes the train station to this town. Now, it's a little bit out of the way. It's not really in the residential section, but public transport will be our friend. But all I'm really concerned about is... Actually, I'm going to delete that and redo it because I need high-speed train tracks. All I'm really concerned about is the bend to get the airport situated in. So if I come off the inner side and run that to there, we need to create a straight run along here somewhere. So if I ran, for example, you up there, like that, because one line is also going to continue up to reach to this side. And I've just got to figure out the best positioning right now for our airport. So if it means I've got to move them, I kind of will. How big is the airport? Oh, the game's having a meltdown. Oh, to be honest with you, I could put it on this side. It doesn't really make much difference for us. We actually could. I actually might do that. Delete you and delete you. And then get my train station ready. We've got new boats as well. So whoever, you know, Man Royal complaining about my my beautiful 1800 ships. We've got new tugboats now available. You will be very happy about that. Right, I'm going to put that there on this line. And that should be good enough for us here. Train tracks. This will obviously run into there. That will then skedaddle out. And that will then continue to run up. And then we'll use the inner line here for our bend. Now, I don't know if whether I'm gonna keep them separate or not. Or whether we should merge them into one line. It's a bit of a tricky situation. So that is obviously going to end to here and then into there. That's going to also run into there as well. But maybe I'll utilize that to kind of go out that way. It's I'm not 100% just yet how we're going to go about it. I'm not 100% sure just yet. So I'm going to delete you back to here. And then we should be able to bend you right round. Stick you to it. Run you directly in. So yeah, do I merge them onto one line? Because doing a double slip here, does it work with having a gap in the middle? Now, if it works with a gap completely fine, then I've got nothing to worry about, have I? No, it actually works pretty perfect. So if I do that both sides of the train station, I can have these lines running completely separately, going in different directions, and then the line can switch over and go where it needs to go at any point it wants to. You know what I mean? So if I run you down to here. So I didn't know I could do it with the gap. But I suppose, yeah, you can. It makes sense to why you can. All right, there we go. That's all implemented. Very nice. Right, so this is going to run into that right-hand side. That's going to kind of continue up to go into there, which connects down to here. That runs into that way, and obviously this will run down and probably connect as this line fills into this town here. So it might kind of bend down and then connect in. So everything's all intertwined and connected. It could also be a separate line that kind of cuts through to link up to over here, where that one runs that way. So it could be like a little bit of an elevated system in this little city. Possibilities are endless, boys. They really are endless. Okay, so let me now implement... where's my normal passenger buildings? Let me now implement the exact same thing on the opposite side, build the roads, and then we'll decide which side is then better. Can I say the word side any more than I am right now? For the airport. So drop you in there. And drop you in there. Right, which side do you reckon is going to be better for the airport? I'm still thinking this side, to be honest with you. Yeah, that probably... I mean, over here, the runway's going to be too close to there. We got a bit more space before it hits over there. So I reckon we just extend the road a bit more. And we drop in the airport about... I'm going to do it about there. We're going to delete all the buildings on it anyway and redo them. What's going on? Oh, there we go. And then we'll put the main building in the center. So we'll do terminal, terminal, main building, terminal, terminal, and then we'll do the hangar. Nice. And then we'll flip it on the other side. Double runways. Don't really know which way to kind of do this, but I'll do it like that anyway and see what happens. We can always change it around if needs be. But there we go. Airport is now implemented. But now I've got to give people a reason if they flew here to actually go here. Because they've got to be connected up to the main runs. So let's just first connect up this line here. Because if that connects up going all the way through to there at the moment, people can go to all these towns. That just means I have to go all the way back there to switch back in until I get the other lines all set up. That will give me time then to build the actual plane line, buy a plane, and let it go back and forth for a bit and get itself situated. So, yeah, this is actually going to work out really well. So from this point here, then, if I go for the big bend, I'm not worried about the speed, because they wouldn't be going that fast in such a short distance anyway. So that connects up nicely. There's a double slip need to be there. It's already on there. Look at that. Past Seniac, new future Seniac was going to do something here. That connects in, and it again goes down that way. We've got the double slip system all implemented. Let me just finalize this station here. So what I'll do is I'll make the road go through it. There we go. There we go. It does dip down there, doesn't it? Which is interesting. Road going through it. And I think it's too early to implement that. So we'll have to kind of push this also through, which means I'm now going to delete all this. Let's try that again. So let me just get past. Why is one sunken and one's not? Alright, let me delete to there. I'll get the road in now. And then if I hook that up to... It really does want to sink, doesn't it? It could be how the train station is positioned anyway, but I'll run it like that. Run that going through. And then connect you up. It is what it is. I don't mind too much. I don't mind too much. So give it a little bit more space than we've got. There we go. Crisscross there. Very good. I know there's a double slip that can be done just there. And we'll leave that for now. It hasn't got to be set up perfectly, the rest of the city. It just gets us from point A to point B. So that line right now, which you can see the train is currently loading up. We're going to edit this line. And there's only one train on it. So let's now time to kind of mess things up completely. We'll get it to only stop there, which is great. Then from there, we go and stop here, which, do I make it? I'm going to make it utilize just both of the right-hand side stations, platform, sorry. But then before making its way down to here, which over here, I get it to utilize all 4 until we are, you know, doing something with it. Coming back, we'll make it utilize 1 and 2, which will then make its way down to here, which will get it to utilize, I'm assuming, number 1. And then off it goes. Now, I've got to do the signals so it doesn't kind of utilize all the sides of the actual station. That will come into there. And then we'll do 1 there and there. I'll do 1 there and there. And I think that will be enough for me. So we'll do you there. Do you there. This will go just here. We'll do 1 there and there. And I'll just do 1 there and there. So rather than auto signal it, it's such a small little area, we can manually do it. And then that sorts out the line completely. Just looking at the purple right now. So here, they've got on this one side, they kind of come in on both sides. And then on this one, it's the exact same, but opposite way. And then they switch there to change onto their line. So that does exactly what I need it to do to be able to implement my first train line. So this is no longer going to over here. This is now going to over here. So if I just quickly copy the name of this, just so because I'm completely lazy with trying to then write. Oh, no. Damn it. That's backfired on me now, hasn't it, boys? That's completely backfired on me. Right. There's me trying to be lazy and make it easy for me. I've just made it so much more difficult for myself. Right, there we go. That's now implemented in. That now extends. And once you get the plane line in, we'll then sort out the rest of the lines. So for us then, we create a new line and we pick the airport and then we pick the airport over here, which I'm not too sure what to call this airport. And I've also got to make sure that we look at how they land and take off, because that's kind of important for the flight path. Like right now, it's going to go up and over, and it wants to fly over Amsterdam and Haarlem. I don't know whether I much prefer them to go over this way. You can't do waypoints for airports, can you? Is there such thing as building like a waypoint or placing down waypoints for airplanes to go to? Let me see what the opposite or the alternative is over here. So if I deleted... I think you delete these, right? And you put them on the opposite side. And it should change. Yeah, it now takes off this way, which it flies past Amsterdam, a little bit over Hilversum. But would you argue that does less emission damage to the cities? Because there is a slight gap just there. Granted, it flies over Almere, but I'm hoping it's high enough into the sky at that point and then goes into there, which actually works out really well. It's actually quite a simple back and forth, that is, isn't it? It really is. So I think we'll go with that then. I think we'll go with that. So I'm also going to allow it to obviously utilize all the terminals. And I think we'll start with 2 planes, maybe? What have we got? Can we do like the A320? I've got a 757. I've got a DC-10. 737. I might go for... Do I go for the Boeing? I mean, it carries 50 people. How many people do we truly think are going to fly over there? Maybe a 737. We'll start with a 737. I'll buy 2 and put them on line 10. And that is our first planes. Oh my goodness me. Right. It's going to be quite loud, this is. It's going to be quite loud. Let me fast forward as much as I can. And they've got to drive all the way around now, don't they? Is this going to take off straight away? Or is it just making itself going round? I might make that one do a U-turn. And go to the airport now. Just try and split them up a little bit quicker. Right, this is taking longer than I thought it was going to take. Yeah. Not really fast forwarding, are we? Not as fast as we thought it was going to be. But hey ho, there we go. So this one will go into the thing and then taxi all the way back. This one will get a head start in flying towards our other airport. So that will now go. And hopefully then there'll be a bit of a gap then in between the two. Right, that's now about to go up and over. Make sure it clears the line, which it completely does. Look at this, boys. Our first planes for our company. Right, if I quickly pause now, because we can check the emissions. So here's the emissions now being made by the plane. So I think at this point, right, it's high enough that it's not causing emissions over the city. Also, that turned a lot earlier, or a lot later than, well, the line was saying it was going to. So yeah, you can see right now it's flying over, no emissions. So if that's the only emissions it creates up to that point, there's nothing living here or nothing there in general. So I think we're okay. Now, where's the plane? The plane is just there. So at what point does it now start to create the emissions landing? Again, the way it lands here and takes off doesn't affect this town one bit. But look at the emissions in general. I can't wait till we can switch all of our trains over to electric. That will reduce quite heavily on it. So, oh, okay, so you can now see where the emissions come into it. But it shouldn't really affect this town over here. Maybe eventually when it starts growing quite big. But it's not enough to cause any issues. It's completely out the way. Nice little touchdown right there. I think we're all good. Right, the second plane's not long taken off. It's just there. And that's as far as the emissions go. Now, the emissions will slowly creep back down. But when we start having like a load of planes coming and going, it will always be there. Right. Not bad. Not bad. Apparently there's somebody waiting at the train station, though. Why is somebody waiting there? Where have they come from? Maybe it's the workers at the airport. Maybe that's who they are. Yeah, that's who they are. Right, so with that said, I think we should take a look at getting the other runs all set up. I think that's what we should do. Yeah, I think that's what we should do. Now, we've got the line that comes down into there, and that will continue to go up. I want a brand new line that will come from here, going down to here, bending round, going straight down, and then through into there. Which could be the link over to that line. But then that would become such a long line, wouldn't it? But you got the planes to make you go speedy, speedy, speedy. Right, we've actually got a passenger now waiting at the airport. So that's pretty good to see, isn't it? Yeah. Right, okay. Very good, sir. Very good, very good. Let's now create this line. So this line's got to run into here, which we're going to need to somehow build a station. Goodness me, how are we going to build it in here? Now, I could build it on the outskirts, so this line could actually kind of come down into there, then go around, which is no problem. Probably the best thing for me to do, if I'm being completely honest with you. So delete all of this. I don't think this is going to be a particularly big station. Doesn't need to be as big as we've currently got it there. Yeah, I'm deleting quite a few things, but it is what it is. All right, they'll get over it. They will get over it. Right, run you down to there. Run you going down as well. Now, before anything else, we'll get all these connected in. And we'll do... Do I do crisscrossies? I mean, I know I need to add in the buildings. There we go. I think I'm gonna bring you there. Bring you going across. I think there might be a spot here where I can kind of bring that road up. And then bend it in like that. And then that's as far as I'm going to take it. That's awfully pretty close. But I think we'll be okay. I don't think it makes much sense. Oh, no, we could actually do the curvature here. Right, somehow, and I don't know how, that's worked. Right, okay. And then that's going to run straight for just a min. We'll get our Chrissy Crossy in. Oh, hello. Do the double slip, which is there. It all helps, boys. It all helps. Do that one there. And then because we've got the little road crossing in, I can do my train Chrissy Crossy. Just to allow the city to kind of grow a bit more. I've tried to keep the uniqueness thrown in with a train station. So if I take this back quite far, and by quite far, to there, we're just going to allow the game to pick our bend. And that should do us pretty well. Right. So far, so good. Okay. So far, so good. I just got to now bring these to a complete connection. So run you all the way up. It should be actually pretty simple. It's a case of running to here. Now, I reckon if I delete it back a tad bit there, that works for us. Running you up. There we go. So we've got the line that can kind of continue into here, but I want it to kind of then go a bit further down. So... and I want it to go into there as well. So we've actually got a bit more work to do than I realised. This is going to have to come down into here, which is the main way that this city can then get to there, cross over to kind of get up to here, whatever. But I also want to have a line running through this way as well for these three cities, maybe slightly elevated. We'll see. There's going to be an elevation happening here on one of the directions. But what direction? Now, I feel like coming out of that town there, we're going to be split in many different ways. So we'll make that the ground one. That's kind of going to bend down. And do I implement it on the outskirts or a little bit more in? I'm going to make quite a big judgment right now, aren't I? I am going to say... I'm going to say that I'm going to have this be quite a hub area, which means I am going to delete quite a bit. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. Trust me, you're not going to like this. But what I'm about to do to this city right now means that this station is going to be, or this town, I should say, is going to be quite a big hub city, which is going to allow it to grow exponentially. I've just got to find the right way to do this. So if I spin this right round, so if I go here, for example, and just fine tune it a bit more, and I'm going to place this here. Right, reason for it is I want to change the main building. I want to go for the big boy. But I don't think the big boy is big boy enough. You know what I mean? So I reckon then By deleting you, we implement you here, which means I get an extra space to work with. Now, I'm going to place it... I'm going to place it here. Do we do it on that section? I'm going to do it there. Right, there was a big judgment call there. You might not realise it, but there's quite a big judgment call I've just kind of implemented. Right, get these going down. I'm going to do one either side. And get these smaller ones in. Okay. Now, it does give me the ability to run this going down to there, but also come directly off it in that direction. Directly off it in that direction. Bringing you down to connect to here. So they will then continue. They will then continue. Why can't I? Oh, there is a big elevation change there. Right, if I... Oh, no, I didn't want to do that. Damn it. I was going to say, if I push this through like this, because I know that's a straight run. Because I'm trying to now make a grid beautifully connect to a non-grid. So that there. So if I ran that going that way, ran you going up, and then wiggle it in. Or delete that bit and then wiggle it in. It's not perfect, but it does it. You don't understand how I'm transforming this one little city right now. This is going to be absolutely ridiculously wild. Now, train tracks. This is very, very important. We're going to use the middle section. And let me connect it just after the road. The middle section here is the main line. I might need to delete the road and place the road back in. That's what we'll do. So running this out. We instantly need to get all this to connect in. Now, do I do it like this? So if I ran you there, I would need to run that there, but then I'll also need to run this here and then this here. Now, that creates a couple of double slips, to which I wouldn't then need to do anything with. Now, we've only got one line running in, because it's coming from that direction. It then sprouts itself out into multiple directions after here, because the line coming in from this side is going to cross completely over it. So I don't need to go crazy on this side. So would that mean I would need... I think I still would need a crisscross though, wouldn't I? Yeah. Let me see where this row is going to kind of implement itself first. And then I'll do a crisscross here. There's too much of a slope here, by the way. It is slopey, but, you know, I didn't think it would be that bad. Right, there we go. Just after it. It is what it is. And then we need to run these to now come together. So if I deleted you and you, and I deleted right up to the crisscross, I need to figure out a way where that makes sense. So for here, it should be pretty straightforward. So it bends round, shoots all the way down. To be honest with you, it could be pretty straightforward anyway. And then that runs into there. Fairly easy, fairly well. And then from that point is when it all now goes downhill. So I definitely won't be able to have this road here. And we are then going to run you going out on the middle section. Now, looking back at other places where we've had as many train lines coming out of that as we have, how have we done it in the past? Ah, okay, so here we had 2 split and 2 go out. And then we had something similar in Amsterdam, where, we treated it as 2. But we had 4 lines on those, whereas this one we've got 3. Right, where are we? Where are we? There we are, there we are. Now, one is going... one's actually going to turn to go into here. One's going to run through that way and go through them coastal ones, and the one's going to run this way. So the one turning in that direction, because we want it to also be able to share the Chrissy Crossies. So if I just do this for now, it will allow me to run... Or do another one. It allows me to run with the height dip that's kind of happening. Alright, there we go, there we go. And then run you up to here. We might as well do all of it, and I'll delete what I don't want. So that might allow me to build a bridge with the road going over the train tracks. Might do, I'm not too sure yet. Right, run that all down. Gives me the same elevation change. And then delete this one. That's what I don't want on that one. And they all go for the same gradient change as well. Now, does the road cross over? Right. Yes, I can make it do it. So I'm going to make it do it. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Right, interesting setup though, isn't it? Very interesting setup. So I'm suppose I might do it after the bridge so we can kind of see it all happen. But if I do it like that there, and there's a collision issue here. Are these changing elevations? They're not. I've now just got to find the perfect spot, which there we go. And then run through all of these, do my double slips. There we go. And these 3 lines can now share all the platforms with relative ease. So we're coming from this area here. So pumping that through and pumping that through. That, of course, is going to go and connect with one of these. So we'll have to make this start turning pretty soon. So after that point there, it all then changes. So that running straight, I've got to make it kind of this bend round. And then, so if we create a bridge crossing here, for example, and I change the bridge to you, for example, there, I maybe add a bit of height to it like that, and then build a second line. I then need to connect these up. Now, would it be a good idea just to allow it to run all the way in? Because it does, like I said, exactly what I want it to do. Off it goes. Skedaddled. And then that middle line, we'll have to kind of almost bend with it and then kind of go through there. But we'll do that at another time. Now, bringing this further down, the bend in question, I think what happened actually here, so if I just went like that, no, I think a little bit more out here. Now, is the crisscross set up there? It is. Is the double slip set up? No, it's not, but it is now. That runs in beautifully. And then that will kind of bend up as well and then run in that way. And then that will kind of come straight and turn down that way. Now, theoretically, I could have the line here, which ends there, now go all the way around to end here. Bit excessive, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong, a little bit excessive right now. But I can now make it switch out here is a way to kind of do it. Unless I keep it to there and I just create a new line that kind of comes in instead. So if I was to do that, I would manage the line in an apple dawn right now, which is here, this line. I don't get it to use 3 and 4, so I click on 1. Don't get it to use 3 and 4. I keep that open for my other line. So my other line we have to extend from over here. So once it comes into this station now, we get rid of the ability, no, that's the wrong one, this one here, to use all of them. Actually, no, that was actually fine, 1 and 2. Then we add a station after that, which comes into here. Which, for me, it will be 5 and 6 on the way in. And then all the way over to here. So that'll be 3 and 4. And then on the way back, here, I'll get it to utilize 3 and 4, which will be the middle one. Oh, I don't know about this. Because I've got 3 set up right now, I don't know how I feel about this. Having it utilize this one side. Unless I tell it to do 5 and 6. Oh no, I'm already on 5 and 6. It's 1 and 2, isn't it? Like that instead. There we go. And then coming down here. And that stops on 3 and 4. And then go straight back in. So I'm not too sure about this. I'll have to kind of like see how things react with it. But it gives it 2 platforms either side. Kind of creates like a little bit of a bypassing track, weirdly, if we were to run cargo through it. So that works out. They swap over there, which in reality, I could make them swap over here, pushing that line back by 1. So now that line's not as long, and this one takes up a little bit more slack. Plus, that line stopping there also allows us to crisscross with many other lines as well. It's probably better to do it there. I just don't know how busy this station or train station is going to be. Probably very busy. I'll keep it there for now, but let's just have that in our back pocket as something that we're going to change in the future. So let me see if I can now copy you and the pink line. Rename it. So without getting it wrong this time. There we go. We've now changed it. So we will need to add more trains to this line. So I'm going to manage vehicles. We'll duplicate. And we'll duplicate again. So we've got 4 on that line. Same with this line now. We need to duplicate these. So duplicate. And I think 2's only fair enough right now. I think 4 might be too much on that line. Let me sell 2 of them. We'll just sell 2 for now. Right. I've got to bring this line then coming in. Now, I could have actually just made it come down and connect in there. But I want this to connect in. But then again, thinking about this, I could actually make this hook up to here. And it could funnel in this way anyway. So, in reality, boys, in reality right now, I don't need to do an overpass. I just change how the trains filter in. Makes so much more sense, doesn't it? Which then means that going out this way now completely changes. It doesn't do what I wanted it to originally do. Let me pause. Because the whole thing's now... The game has changed, as they would say. The game has now been changed. Right, running this through here. Because I've got to run that to there. That to there. Actually, that one would have stayed in though, wouldn't it? Thinking about it. So I could have kept that one. Well, apparently it's not possible to... Right, we have to redo the roads. We'll have to redo the roads. Right, so... I would then need to allow this to bend out. So if I was to put it like here. So going up in that direction. To there. Only so slightly off, which dramatically changes the whole bend. Run this all the way around into there. And then I would need to get that side connected as well. Now, that's not going to go anywhere else unless that came round this way to hook up to these places. Which brings them in down to here. That's also a possibility. I won't then need to do the crossover this way because they can all merge here. Oh, this changes everything. Sometimes I'm a genius. Sometimes I'm not. But most of the time I'm a genius. Right, it's allowed me now to set it up a bit different. Create lines I didn't realize I was creating, but in reality, I've got much better connectivity now. So let's say that this is going to funnel round to here, because I need to get this to match it. Oh, what's going on here, boys? All right, bring you to there. Bring you to there. Connecting you in. Connecting you in. Delete this. Now, I won't do all the additional lines. I just want to do... Oh, I've just messed that up, haven't I? Just want to do the basic stuff, but I just need to get my Chrissy-Crossy in here now. So, can I do this before the road crossing? Yes, just about. Just about is the answer. Right, oh, actually, do you know what? I need it to go a bit bigger because it's not able to double slip in the middle. So that just about might be a big fat no in a minute. Right, I'm going to go to there. Right, we can't get... No, we can't do it there. I need it a bit bigger to Chrissy Cross. So these roads here, I'm going to have to forget those for a minute and do what I've got to do. So I'm going to have to go to like that distance. Which I then... Yeah, now I can get the double slips in. They're crucial, otherwise there's no point in building this. Because they then can't go all the directions I want them to. So, ruin my road crossing. That's fine. Because I might still be able to build a bridge going over. Alright, change the bridge. No, even changing a bridge will not do anything. I will not be able to do an underpass, so I'm going to have to do a different... road connection, which I'm not going to be able to do there. I'll have to just randomly do it here. and allow the town to decide how it wants to kind of navigate this situation. Right, that line comes in as normal anyway, which is great. Very good, very good, very good. Now, that's perfect. I could have a loop going around here, which sorts this line out. Its continued connectability. But let me now sort out the line that runs down here. And then I think we're all good then. So I'm going to put it back into play mode, by the way. Allow the plane to navigate a little bit more. And we're going to start a line over here. So let me first see where this runs. That goes there. Okay, that's great. New line from here. There we go. And it's going to utilize 1 and 2. I've got to do more signals, by the way. So coming down this way. So utilize 3 and 4. Coming all the way around. And then get it to utilize 3 and 4 on that one side. Oh, I didn't get that in. Okay, we'll come back to that. We'll come back to that. Now, get you to go here. But I'm going to have to quickly sort this out. I've completely forgot about that. And I'm going to delete back to there. Oh, now I've got the... That was what I was on about earlier, the A320. Now I've unlocked the A320. We seem to be unlocking all the vehicles now at this point, aren't we? We seem to be. Right, I'm going to change this up, by the way. So I'm going to allow them on the one side to go 4, 5, 6. And that's going to then continue to go out. So for now, I'll get it to utilize all the platforms. And then we'll head back. Right, add station, by the way. And that will go on to 1 and 2. Continuing around. There we go. That'll be 1 and 2. And then back it goes again. Right, stop that for just a second, because I've got to sort out signals. So there, that's already set up there. So we'll do 1 there and there. 1 there and there. This side, just there. There and there. There and there. Bam, bam, bam. So 1 would go there, but I'm going to throw another one just there and there. And after this, here and here, we've already got that one in there. Bam, bam. Bam, bam. And for us here, I'll do it all there. Let's get the ones in this one that we have not got set up yet. And that's there. And then after all of this... Oh, how did I mess that up? At the very end, I was doing so good as well. I was doing so good. And I'm going to drop that one there. Right, okay. That's all the signals now in. I'm just going to change the other line, though. When it gets to here, which is the ability to utilize all of them. Let me make this look like a little bit purple. And then going back this way. So when you're coming in this way, you can use 1, 2, 3. And when you come in that way, you can use 1, 2, 3. So you've got 3 platforms to utilize over everything else, as well as having the bypass kicking in as well. I need to now get the trains for that line. So if I manage this vehicle and if I duplicate it, but that train there, I pull it on my brand new line 11, which it's now stuck. Didn't even think this one through, did I? Right. I'm going to delete that. Oh, no. And I'll just drop it down here for now. We'll just drop it down here for now. Right, so if I manage this vehicle and duplicated this vehicle, that's now coming out of there, but I put it on line 11. And then if I select line 11, or manage the vehicle here and duplicate that, I put 2 then on that line. So that line has now got a train. So all of a sudden then, we're more intertwined and connected. I don't have to do my original plan now of kind of overlapping. Seems a little bit excessive at this point if they were all going to be merging down here anyway. We've got lines crisscrossing one another and going in different directions. So that's kind of cool to see. I know this one crosses over that one goes that way. I could also make this one kind of come into there. And this one be the one that goes in that direction. They all crisscross at the airport. It's something that I'll probably change in the future because my game plan's slightly adjusted now for what we've got set up. So in the grand scheme of it then, we've got the trains crisscrossing there, which I might make them crisscross here instead because there's more lines that crisscross. I'll probably extend the station to make it a bit bigger to do that. This line here that ends there, it remained ending there, the actual line itself, but the train track will come down to here, which will go across here, which will be the left line that comes out to maybe cross over to go around and up to there to then somehow come back. So I'm creating like a little bit of a mini loop around this area. That could be a possibility, or we just make it connect into there to end there. And I have a small commuter line that brings them people down. We'll see. We'll see. We've got a line that comes around to here that would eventually the 2 lines here that come into there would eventually end up in Harlingen. So that's pretty nice. And it's just making sure that all of the cities and towns have additional transportation like buses or trams or whatever to get people to the actual train station. Now, airport looking busy already. Plane has just left with nobody on board, even though there's 116 people waiting. I think a train might have literally just arrived as that plane was leaving. The plane just there right now with 9 people on board. So now we're starting to see the passenger numbers. So that line in general hasn't really made a profit yet, but it shouldn't be too long now. It shouldn't be too long. A lot of passengers waiting, a lot of people at the elevated train station right there. We are going to need to now start thinking about readjusting the capacity of our trains. We might need bigger trains. We might need to sort all this stuff out. But we have a place for them to now go. We have a slight network extension and expansion right now, which really, really helps. So I think it's now slightly worth it to get on a plane. It really, really is. So all of these towns right now, they should eventually, which they are doing right now, go through huge growth spurt as all of a sudden they've now got even more connections to the wider network. This town over here took a huge hit, but that's probably going to be a big major hub, that is, with the amounts of lines that are going to be coming in and out. Yes, sirree. Right, plane is coming into land. That plane is taking off at 20 on board. We're going to need bigger planes. So we'll also upgrade them and add more in the next episode. Guys, we'll end it here anyway. I'm really impressed with what we've actually done right now in the line extensions and how we've kind of intertwined them all and connected them all in many ways, shapes, or forms. So it is quite easy for them to get from town to town. We're just going to make sure that we set everything else up correctly so there's no other hiccups. But other than that, pretty damn good. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So, goodbye.